Welcome. I just noticed that the Windows settings were wrong. I need to fix that on the fly right now. But as soon as that's done, I think this might work. We'll get started on the third part of our journey through The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. The reason we're starting the game from this first screen, from this Nintendo Presents screen, is that I want you to remember what I taught you about what the Super Nintendo can do in terms of mostly working with sprites and only being able to rotate things in a very, very limited capacity. Have a look at the intro screen again. I just noticed this recently as well. Look at the triangles. I claimed that no 3D modeling or anything like it was really possible on the Super Nintendo, and yet The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past starts with a 3D representation of these triangles flying into the middle of the screen. I'm not sure if this is... Let me skip this. I'm not sure if the reason for that is, if this is actually being rendered from shapes, or from sprites. I'll have to look into that definitely, and I'll try to talk about it at another time. But just something interesting I noticed. So, as a brief recap for what happened previously, we just lost against Aghanim. Well, we fought him with our epic bugnet, and we pushed him so far that he had to banish us to the Dark World. But yeah, we were too late. When we initially arrived, he was already finished, sacrificing Princess Zelda, who he had kidnapped from the priest. So we failed in that regard. I'm sorry. I think you heard that and you weren't supposed to. I'll close that. Okay. So yeah, we've been sent to the Dark World, to this ominous pyramid with this ominous background. The Dark World being what the Golden Land turned into after Aghanim corrupted it. And now we're supposed to get back the 7 descendants of the Wise Men that he used to break the seal between the worlds, with the first one being marked there. And I might only stream for 2 hours today. I'll let you know right away. We'll see about that, because I think what I want to do today is get to that palace, not look around this completely new map for too much, just very briefly, just directly making our way here, heading into the palace, grabbing the item, and that will allow us to explore a lot of the map right away. So we're probably not even going to finish the dungeon before we start exploring. But once again, we're now in the Dark World. Well, previously we entered the Dark World in this portal on the Death Mountain up here, but this was a secluded area where we were not able to get to anywhere else on the map. Now we've been teleported here, and this gives us a permanent ability to travel between the worlds with the mirror the old man gave us. Because in most places, when we use it, not this one, if we take a few steps to the side, in most places we can just head over to the real world, and the maps are overlaid with each other. And now we also see where we last traveled to the real world from the Dark World, or the Light World rather. Also, I think Zahasrala told us about this. The front gate of the castle has also been turned into permanent portal. So even if we manage to put the portal somewhere where we wouldn't be able to reach it again, we would also always be able to head back into the Dark World through the castle gates. Again, this pyramid we're on top of is the Dark World equivalent of the castle. This palace, this pyramid, is the equivalent of what in the Light World is the castle. And we see a heart piece right over there. There's our first enemy we see in the Dark World. Previously, there weren't any enemies in the Death Mountain area of the Dark World, and we see there's a lot to discover here already. A big spot for a bomb, but as we'll find out, our bombs aren't strong enough for this one. Lots and lots of things to see here. Let's grab the heart piece. And also, I have to mention, I love the overworld music of the Dark World. These are the equivalent of what the soldiers were in the Light World. They're able to throw their weapon. Oh, okay. And apparently there are also new enemies hiding in the grass. And as we discovered before, everything in the Dark World, everything that wanders from the Light World to the Dark World, is twisted by what it really is. We saw the bully who turned into a demon in on Death Mountain, and we saw the person who couldn't ever decide, who was bouncing between ideas and between decisions, being turned into a rubber ball. And we ourselves, before we managed to get a hold of the Moon Pearl, we were just a little rabbit, a little bunny. Perhaps signifying that we're not a soldier, not really the great hero we need to be, but that we might be scared inside. And the trees look like they have eyes and have many strange holes in their roots. Very uncanny looking. But as I've said before, we need to head to the Palace of Darkness. Not much exploring should be done just yet, because there is not a lot we can reach without the item we will find in the Palace of Darkness. Where the old palace was a palace of sand and of strange soldiers, this one looks to be something like a forest, and there seem to be some monkey and ape statues around. And again, these enemies in the Dark World are stronger than the ones we've seen in the Light World. How do our fairy supplies look? Not that good. In that case, before we head in, let's replenish our fairies, and let's do it by heading into the Light World. Preferably in a spot where we can actually stand. Like this one. And as we've previously seen, as we've previously discovered, there were some fairies around here. Let's try not to die here. It looks like the soldiers also have been upgraded from what they previously were. Or was this actually a normal fairy, or was this... Oh, okay, yeah. These are fairies we can catch. So now we're prepared to actually head back to the portal we ripped from the Dark World to the Light World. And follow it back and head into the palace. As you might have noticed, these red enemies are really, really quick to spot as compared to all the other soldiers we've seen before. And again, we've acquired the Master Sword, and one of its special properties is that we can throw this light attack if our hearts are full. It's a very interesting design decision to give the player to try and get the player to always have full hearts, because it makes them that much more powerful. I don't think the beam is as powerful as a direct hit. It took like 6. Interesting. I don't know why she turned into a fairy. That thing. Let's try it with these. We have 2 of them. Direct hits. 2. Let's get rid of him. And now let's feed him with range attacks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it seems like the range attack does half the damage, but it allows us to be way safer, and we can throw them almost as quick as sword strikes. Actually, were we able to enter this before already? Let's try. Right, this isn't actually the palace yet, it's just a little house with a little tree person. You're new here, aren't you? Did you come here looking for the power of gold? Well, you're too late. It will obey only the first person who touches it. The man who last claimed the power of gold wished for this world. It reflects his heart. Yes, I came here because of greed for the golden power, and look what happened to me. To restore the golden land, a person worthy of the golden power must defeat the man who created this place. Until that time, I am stuck in this bizarre shape. But what a mischievous thing to leave lying around. The power of gold. Triforce. I wonder what reason this person had. What characteristic of their inner being turned them into a tree. Is it that they're very rooted in their beliefs or something? I don't think that's something we can necessarily ever learn, but it's interesting to think about. And this was a waste of a bomb. Only 4 hearts. I guess this is a little dark world healing place or something, if we don't want to return to the light world. Oh no. Well, maybe it can come in handy. So, onward. Let's find the actual Palace of Darkness. I think we can leave that money behind. We already have 828 rupees. It's just about time for us to find another way to spend it. Several mazes here. You can just about see the entrances by the transparency and the ways that you can follow and not follow. Like here I can't go up and I can't go to the right. I can only go to the left up there, but that's a dead end. So we'll have to follow the way to here. Another dead end. But this looks more promising. But what happened there? Did you notice? Down here, an ape joined us. I'm Kiki the monkey, Kiki. I love rupees more than anything. Can you spare me 10 rupees? Well, we just talked about that we need to get rid of some, and this place looks very monkey related, so maybe it will bring us good luck. Kiki, Kiki, good choice. I will accompany you for a little while. Kiki. Yeah, so apparently this monkey decided to join us. Doesn't look like they're able to do very much for us. Okay, they apparently also don't like getting hurt. That's not much of a surprise. Let's see if we can get him back. Apparently he also has amnesia when he gets hurt, and needs another 10 rupees. Or it's a different monkey that's also named Kiki and says the exact same line. This looks more like the Palace of Darkness over here. And it looks like the entrance is locked. Lots and lots of monkeys here. Key, key. If you give me 100 rupees, I will open the entrance for you. Key, key, key. Well? Key, key, key. Good choice. Then I get 100 of your rupees. Key, key, key. And with that, the way to our first Dark World dungeon has opened. A mirror image of the very first dungeon. In the first room at least. Only this time, it continues on. Here. That was lucky, I didn't actually know it was there. But you knew there had to be something here, because there were no doors leading anywhere else, or... well, the skulls that have replaced the pots in the Dark World. They were the only thing in that room. And let's try the right way. Once again, the pots, or rather their Dark World equivalent, are the best weapon. More monkeys. And another tile of mental communication. Link, can you hear me? Oh. It's not Zazrala, actually. It's Zelda this time. Link, can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. I am locked in Turtle Rock, on top of Death Mountain. I know you are doing your best, but please hurry. Oh my god. Interesting. Looks like we can push the statue at least. And luckily we've already gotten the key, so let's continue onwards. Speaking of turtles, these enemies don't seem like we can defeat them with our sword right now. And there are also these weird jellyfish looking things. Another small key. Our friends from the third dungeon. Well, let's just use the key right away. What's this? Oh! The floor collapses beneath us. To the left we need a key. And the bombs apparently can just float in the air. So, since we don't have a key, let's go to the right. We find the compass. Now we can pinpoint the lair of the evil dungeon master. That's also not what I wanted. Interesting, interesting. Another key we would need to head down. There's the dungeon room. Lots and lots of rupees we don't really need. And a key. And a single arrow, apparently. I think I want to use the key on the left instead of down. A labyrinth with some sort of reptiles that can spit fireballs, apparently. Some bombs. Would be nice if there was something we could light to make this room brighter. A chest. Okay, there's the small key we had to use to get in here. And there we can bump something. And as you might have seen before, that leads to the item we're looking for. But, it's locked? If you had the big key, you might be able to open it. Yeah, so once we got the big key, we can come back here. And then we'll actually leave the dungeon and go exploring in the brand new dark world. Also, we might need to start gambling, because I really don't know what else to do with all of these rupees. It's very useful that you can push some of these around. So, what do we do here? Can we head to the right? Only if we press the button. Can we throw bombs down there? I haven't done this before, I think, but you can actually pick up the bombs after you place them and do fun stuff like that. Here's another switch. And it's just what we needed to be able to come here. There's a switch, but you have to keep standing on it. And once more, a statue that you're able to push around. For reference, I was lucky again that it was the closest one, because all of these don't move. Here we have one of the most interesting enemies in the game. They almost look like the Cyclops type we've seen before, with the red ones and the green ones, but they're different. You see, they're not moving right now, but it's not that we have to get close to them for them to start moving. Rather, it's once we've entered the room, they follow our movement. When we head down, they head up. When we head up, they head down. The green ones follow us left and right, but the red one mirrors us completely. You might be wondering what the point of this enemy is, because, well, the green one can't really do anything to hurt us, except if we ran into them like this. Let me use a fairy. Ah! But you saw right there The red one has a trick up his sleeve. Let's take care of the green one. The red one always mirrors us the other way around. Like, if we want to go towards them, they will always face us. They're to the right of us. When we want to head right, they approach us. They're above us. When we want to go up, they come down. And if there is a direct line between us, they start to spit fire at us. So, if you take a moment to think about what to do about this enemy, I think our shield might be able to catch the fire, and we could just tank it and cut him down like that. Let's try it out. No. But yeah, they don't fire continuously. We would have been able to just tank that one and then attack him. But another way is to throw something or place a bomb. A bomb is also an option. To throw something and then control them to run into it. So when we throw this skull down, we should have the time to head to the left here and make them run into the object we've thrown without ever looking directly at them. Okay, that didn't work out. But the same should work with an arrow, or the easiest way is bomb. Okay, they're actually immune to bombs. Interesting. Let's try ice. It's possible that they're only vulnerable from the front. And once again, the reason we're dealing with this instead of ignoring them is that this door is locked and that it probably will only open after we've defeated them. So let's try the boomerang maybe? Shouldn't do anything, no. But it looks like we have a direct line. Okay, we don't. But that is basically going to be our plan. We fire this arrow, take a step down. Maybe get as much distance between us as possible. And you see it works. 2 arrows and they're gone. I should actually use arrows more, I think, because they're really cool. I don't know, I like them. This is dangerous. Another test of how prepared you are, how much attention you pay when you go into a new room. Well. And here, something strange again. Just as we've seen before. Just as we've seen in the second dungeon, just before the boss, another wall, where the outline of the room clearly tells us that there's a path that goes on there, and where we can't actually hit the wall with our sword. And there's this weird blue-green statue here, looking at us. And we already have the bow out, so let's just... I think this is one of the harder puzzles in the game. I think... First of all, you have to notice that the room goes on to the right. And then you might have to try out a lot of things with this guy before you find out that it's the arrows you need to use. And you might not even notice that you actually need to interact with him. Maybe you think that you need to do something else elsewhere in the dungeon. So yeah, this can be tricky. But it's a dead end for now. And the way in which it's a dead end also tells you what the item is we are looking for in this dungeon. Something to get rid of these things that are blocking our path, like this one. And probably this will also be able to take care of the wooden things in the light world that have blocked our path in similar ways before. Okay, so we're still looking for the key. The big key. Let's have a look at the map once I remember which button it is. In the room directly to our right, we are the brightly flashing dot on 1F. In the room to our right, it looks like there is still a way to get to the right, but that wasn't where we were. That was one layer up, so we have to follow this path here to get there. Ah, and actually, this doesn't even help us. Wait. Yeah, it looks like we have to get there from another place. But as you might have noticed, here the ground is broken, is cracked, and whenever you see anything that's cracked in a Zelda game, you throw a bomb at it. We need a key, but we don't have any right now, for this door up here. And it looks like down here there is something we can do. Fight skeletons for one. And fight turtles. Oh no, the turtles don't seem to take any damage from skulls, which are basically pots, so these are truly invincible. There's the key we needed. And the block down there is very suspicious. What is its purpose? To be pushed, but apparently not in that direction? Oh, maybe this is actually the block we pushed down from up here. That was in our way that we pushed down. Like here, there were two blocks and we pushed this one down. And this is directly below it. So for once, the room, this fall isn't actually just a source of damage and a fall down into the abyss. Instead, it leads us down to the area below us. And I think that's what this texture is trying to tell us, but even to my eyes, that are very accustomed to most of the pixel art in this game, I really don't know what that's supposed to represent. This looks promising. And it's the big key. So, let's head back to the room with the dungeon item. And we can get started on exploring more of the Dark World. This is annoying. Let me try to maybe... Okay, this doesn't work. Maybe... That was a partial success. Oh, apparently they stop moving once you hit them with a bomb. That's also very good to know. I also don't know what they're even supposed to represent. Well, good thing we upgraded our bomb pouch. With how many did we start? 5? 10? I think it was 10. Well, it's definitely good to have more of them for situations like this. Oh god. I wanted to be prepared, but instead I got myself into trouble. These enemies don't take damage from behind, from the front, because of their mask. But apparently they saved that we killed one of them, but not that the floor fell, so that made it very easy. Now, if I was only able to remember how to get to the chest, that would be lovely. And... well, that was unnecessary. You got the magic hammer. You can drive the wooden stakes down into the ground. You can use it to pound on other things too. So, now that we have this, I'll actually use the magic mirror like Zarazrala told us we could use it for, and just leave the dungeon. But actually, I'll need to take a short break for like maybe 5 minutes or something. I'll be right back. And we're back. So, Magic Hammer. Also another very cute animation. It looks like Link is shouting or opening his mouth. But yeah, where do we go with this? We've just very recently seen a couple of those things in the ground. So maybe just teleport into the real world, see where we end up here. Okay, yeah, that works, I think. I must have been right here. And just as I told you, we can take care of all of these with this item and see what this stone is about. It's actually another portal, just like the one we saw on Death Mountain. So let's see where it leads us. It leads us to a very similar circle in the Dark World. And I think there might not even be anything too special about it. I don't think this is somewhere we wouldn't be able to get otherwise. Oh, please drop a heart, please drop a heart. Or if... well, we can replace the ferry immediately. If this bird will leave us alone! The bird is going to hit us. Yeah. I think we were here already, and there's nothing special here. This is just the area we've been to. So, that stone is just another way, another shortcut, if we have a portal to the Dark World set. These birds! My god! Enemies that follow you in a direct line of sight when you can only look down, like look in 4 directions, can be tricky to deal with. Did we visit this cave yet? I don't think so. Ah. Well, we can use it. So yeah, as I was saying, what we discovered there wasn't anything special. It seems that it's just the game giving us yet another option of going from the light world to the dark world. If, for example, we left our portal somewhere completely different and didn't want to go there, it would save us a bit of time to just use the portal there directly. In general, the main mechanic that the game introduces by introducing this dark world that's connected to the light world. There are 2 main puzzle mechanics. One, places in the light world where you discover a portal into the dark world, oftentimes to areas that are secluded or cut off in the dark world that you wouldn't be able to get to without this portal. And the other way around, places in the dark world here that make you think, where you use the portal, where you use the mirror back to the light world to reach an area in the light world that you're interested in. For example, look at this arrangement of stones here. It seems to signal to you that there's something here, and if I can manage to press the damn button, it's actually this little island that we weren't able to get to. Ah, right! I just remembered what we can do with all of these rupees. We can talk to the fairy and increase all of our bomb bags and quivers. More bombs. Yeah, so short intermission. We will be upgrading. We will be spending as much of our rupees as we can here. So that we don't get to a point where our rupee bag is full and we open a chest with like 300 rupees again and they all go to waste. But I will try to use this time to talk about the dungeons we've seen so far once again. We started in the castle, which was more of a tutorial dungeon. Then we headed to the desert palace. And we got the bow there. The next dungeon was the... Wait, did I call it the desert palace? I forgot its actual name, but okay, I can't look at the map here. Oh, that's not the map button, that was the problem. I forgot what these ruins were called, but this palace, the Eastern Palace, yeah, right. I think it was the Eastern Palace. And it was fairly simple, and we got the arrows. The boss of the dungeon were 9 soldiers that were jumping around. And then we headed to the desert with this weird construct of 3 heads, and the enemy there were the 3 sandworms that were jumping around, and the dungeon item was not an active item, but the gloves that allowed us to carry these heavy rocks now. And finally, we headed over to the Death Mountain, to the Tower of Hera, where finally there was only the single big worm thing that was trying to knock us off the platform, and where we had to hit its tail. And the dungeon item was once again a passive item, the Moon Pearl, where once again, as I already explained in the last part, the game would have allowed us to just leave that item there. In the case of the second dungeon, we wouldn't have been able to leave the gloves behind, because we needed to lift these rocks to continue. This Moon Pearl only allows us to keep our form in the Dark World, and thus it is very, very desperately needed after the Aghanim fight, where he teleports us to the Dark World, to progress. But the game doesn't actually softlock us if we don't have it, because, as I've discussed already, again, once that fight ends and we're teleported to the pyramid, it would be totally possible and totally fine for us to still be a rabbit, because we have the mirror. The mirror is something the game forced us to take. We didn't have an option not to take it. So as long as we have the mirror, it's fine that the game drops us off in the Dark World and we are completely unable to defend ourselves, since we were unable to swing our sword or use any items as the bunny, because we always had the option to just return to the light world and head back to the tower and pick it up. Now, the first dungeon of the Dark World. The first dungeon of the Dark World, as we've seen so far, already combined some of the elements of the first dungeons. Because the third dungeon introduced the concept of these switches, the red and blue switches. And that was the main gameplay element the third dungeon introduced, other than dungeons that had small rooms that scaled upwards, because it's a tower. But yeah, that's not really a game element. But yeah, that tower, the first Dark World dungeon, the Dark Palace, continued on with that element, and also had this element of the fake wall that the second dungeon had. And its layout is similar, because it's the Dark World equivalent, to the Eastern Palace, the very first dungeon we visited. Let's see how far we can take the bombs. 40 is very respectable. But I think 40 is the limit. I'm also curious to see if she will allow us to pick the bombs even when we have full capacity, or if she will just tell us once we actually get full capacity. Also, I don't know why 25 is the pre-selected one. It would be a nice quality of life change. 50 at maximum. Weren't we previously at 40? Did we just go up 10? I wasn't paying attention. If so, that would be interesting. But I think 50 might be the max. But I've been wrong before, so we'll see. But yeah, in terms of the item, the Dark Palace is the first one since the very first dungeon that actually gave us an item that we might be able to use in battle. I cannot grant any more wishes for you, but a friend of mine might be able to. She lives in the waterfall of wishing near Zora's Lake. I will return your rupees to you. May you be happy. I hope she actually returned those 10 rupees to us as well, that were always awkwardly hanging in the balance there. I didn't pay attention to the total I had. But I don't think... Oh no. She returned the 100 to us, but not actually all of them. And I don't think it's quite right that she won't grant us any more wishes. I think she just can't grant us any more bombs. Right. So, 500 rupees spent. Perhaps 400 more to go. I think arrows might also go up to 50. And for another topic, you see that all of these spaces are slowly filling. You can see there are 4 slots from up to down, and 5 from left to right, so 20 overall. Four rows and 5 columns is what I was trying to say. So, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 already. So it looks, if all of the slots will be filled at the end, it looks like there are only 9 items we are missing. 9 active items, before we get them all. And that is more or less in line with what I would expect, because there are 7 descendants of the wise men to be rescued in the Dark World. All of them will have some sort of dungeon item. So, since we already got the one from the first Dark World dungeon, that would make 6, and that would leave approximately 3 to be found in the overworld, like the ice rod that we've gotten from the east side of Lake Hylia. I think this will be the final time that we talk to her. That we successfully talk to her. I will try to increase the arrows more, but I don't think we'll have any success. Once again, from a user experience, quality of life perspective, this is very tedious. But at the time this came out, games were only being developed for a few years, for like a decade or at most 2. Oh, no, we can actually go up to 55. But we're broke now. Or to put it more positively, we have lots of wallet space. Oh, and remember what I was talking about earlier? The reason for the existence of the castle portal and the portal that we found near the Eastern Palace is for cases where we lose access to our portal, and this is one of these cases. We had no way to get there besides from the Dark World, but we used the Dark World to get there, and now we can't get back. But that's fine. I'll use the 1991 version of Fast Travel real quick. To get to the mountain cave. If you've paid close attention, you will remember why I'm coming here. It's definitely not because I like these green rocks that are falling from the sky. When I was a child and playing this, I always thought they looked like boogers. Yeah. Not very tasteful. And again, I think I didn't actually talk about this when I first came here. I posed the question initially but didn't follow up. Where are these rocks coming from? When we're down there, they're falling on us all the time. But once we get up here, it just stops. We can't find anyone, we can't see anyone that would be responsible for all of these falling rocks. Strange, strange. Actually, let's talk to these losers. Wow! Your shape didn't change. You got the moon pearl, huh? You didn't change your shape? You aren't just a normal guy, are you? Okay. Very, very interesting. As you might remember, we've been here before, and this told us to hold the Master Sword in the air. Hold up the Master Sword and you will get the magic of Ether. This is the Ether Medallion. Its magic controls the upper atmosphere and polar wind. Watch your magic meter. So yeah, this ancient stone tablet has been destroyed, but we've got another active item. And since there's not really anything else to do up here, let's do this one again. And head to this sanctuary, I believe. The sanctuary, very quiet by now, because, as you might remember, the priest was attacked by soldiers, Zelda was taken away, and the priest perished. Did we ever look at the stone here? Oh, there wasn't actually anything here. So, looking for more places where we saw those wooden posts. First let's talk to this motivational coach who told us that we were unable to harm Aghanim, which turned out to be right for some reason. May I tell your fortune? Abracadabra, alakazam! The true hero will jump into the well near the smithy's shop. And this time, he's actually right. This is exactly what I had in mind. Let's try to scam him. His condition isn't very good, I don't care. I want him to tell our fortune just to notice that we don't actually have any rupees. Does he know? He said that the last time when we had the cash, but it seems like he just keeps saying it now. So, actually, this one as well. This is very curious. What is this? Why is this here? What's the purpose of it? Two bushes with nothing inside of them, hidden behind this wooden post that we're able to knock in. It looks like this is purely decoration. Very strange. But yeah, the smithy. another well to drop into. We've seen this area before, and it looks like we were supposed to go up. This also looks very ominous and interesting. Like, I don't know, like this is the blood vessel of some vampire cult or something. And once again, this is a puzzle. We were prophesied by the fortune teller that we should go here. But what do you do? Can we use an empty bottle to take something? You can hear? That's not it. Is this perhaps something that you can light on fire? Not it either. Freeze it with the ice rod? Nope. Can we put some magic powder into it? Hey! Bless you for waking me from my deep dark sleep. I mean, thanks a lot, sir. But now I will get my revenge on you. Get ready for it. Is that okay with you, sir? Ha ha ha, I laugh at your misfortune. Now your magic power will drop by 1/2. Congratulations. Now, do your best, even though I'm sure it won't be enough. Have a nice day. See you. Yeah, so this is very, very surreal. But what he did was effectively double our magic meter by halving the amount we use. I guess doubling its length wouldn't have been able with the way they wanted to design the UI, so instead they made it that we only use half, and the effect is obviously the same. So now, we never even tested the Ether Medallion, but now this also only costs half. And that looks very, very affordable for such a big effect. Also, perhaps I should have mentioned this before, but there are some flashing lights in this game. You'll have to excuse that. So, where to next? Those are a lot of bees. They don't even attack the soldier. That's too bad. But thank God, with the power of screen transitions, we got away from them. So, is there anywhere else on the map where we remember seeing those wooden posts? I think there might have been one. I think down here at the lake, near a house. Exactly. And you might already be able to guess what this is. This is another teleporter. And another thing to note, once you quit the game doesn't save where you set your last portal. So it's not just for when you put a portal somewhere you are unable to get to again. The castle and these discoverable teleports, I mean, they're also for when you load back into the game. So this little thing with its very long tongue is very, very annoying, because you can actually steal our shield. Like in the real world, like in the light world, there's something to break here. Take some rupees, but don't tell anyone I gave them to you. Keep it between us, okay? And that is one of the reasons, not that I remembered him specifically, but that is one of the reasons why I always want to keep a fair amount of space in my wallet. Because if we were still at 950 rupees, I think we would have kept at 999 and those would have gone to waste. There's a broken wall up here. With some extra rupees. The red ones, well, I think they were 20. You would have been able to see if you looked before and after I picked them up. This area, once again, very similar to the light world, but with a brown color palette and with twisted enemies and twisted statues. Where shall we go to? This is an interesting spot. Yeah, let's actually head in there. Perhaps after. Swamp of Evil. No entrance and no escape. That definitely sounds like a dungeon. If you listen closely, this is the dungeon music. Link, it is I, Zahazarala. Objects exist simultaneously in both worlds with similar shapes. If the form of a thing changes, it will affect the shape of its twin in the other world. So we had no way of doing anything here, and we were told about twins. So let's head back in here, where we previously let the water out. Well, no, actually, we drained the water. So we could get this heart piece here. And if we do this again, and head into the dark world, the water here from outside is also drained into the building itself. And now we, I think, would be able to continue in here. I'm not going to I'll just try it, one room. Yeah, we could just keep going here. I have never discussed it before, but to the upper left, this level 2, if I remember correctly, it refers to which dungeon this is, and this is actually the second Dark World dungeon. So, once again, we could, in theory, just continue on with this dungeon now, instead of finishing the first one. But that's not my intention. Let's have a look at this swamp of evil instead. That was embarrassing, but I think we have at least one fairy here. We'll need to refill our bottle soon, I believe. So, this area is very curious. What do these things mean? Like the rocks in the lake before, this is a section that, if you use your imagination for a bit, looks like it was cordoned off, like it was sectioned away. You can try hitting all of these in, but this doesn't really do anything, so let's see what's going on here in the light world. And we notice that actually this is an area that is different between the light and the dark world. This is a way for us to get up here in the light world. And here's another example of a stone tablet. I think we've seen twice of those, seen these twice so far. One here in the desert that opened the entrance to the second dungeon, and the other one just earlier that gave us the ether medallion. So let's see what's up with this one. Hold up the Master Sword and you will get the magic of Bombos. This is the Bombos medallion. Its magic makes the ground explode with power. Watch your magic meter. So not only do we have the ether medallion that commands storm and wind, but now also we have the ability to cause large-scale explosions. But let's head back to the Dark World. There's still more to do. And can I just mention that I just find it really neat that that this game gives you so much freedom here? Like, instead of railroading you from one dungeon to the next, once you get the hammer from the dungeon, you can just leave the dungeon and go exploring for a while. And if you played this game normally and just explored the Dark World once you entered it for the first time, you would have noticed that there were all these barriers, and once the game taught you that you can use the hammer to get rid of these barriers in the dungeon itself, you would have had the option to just go exploring like I'm doing right now. Let's see what's up with the dark version of Lake Hylia. Looks like we would need to drop ourselves in here. This is very dangerous, and we don't have any fairies, and I don't want to game over, so I'll teleport us over real quick, and I hope the Zora don't finish us up. Let's see where the next fairy is. This is bad. I think there might have been a fairy room here. I don't remember. This is the Well of Wishing. I think it had a side room. No, it doesn't. But as I've told you before, we can... Oh. That's not what I meant to do. Yes, I'm sorry. I dropped my bow. As I've told you the first time we visited here, we can drop an empty bottle and she will fill it up for us. Ah, okay. It's the medicine of magic. So with this we can restore our magic, but that doesn't help us at all with the heart situation. Let me think. Where are the closest fairies? There's some down there, but that's so far away. Actually, maybe we should live dangerously and ignore the fairies and do something else instead. Let's head to my house again with this quick travel trick and use this teleport again. Because if you remember, we were told about a boy and his flute. The boy who was looking for the golden power. And we saw an illusion of him in the woods to our left, in the real world, in the light world. So perhaps... Oh, this is bad. Okay. So perhaps we'll be able to find something out if we investigate the same area in the dark world. After wandering into this world, I turned into this shape. I enjoyed playing the flute in the original world. There was a small grove where many animals gathered. I want to see that place again. I buried my flute there with some flower seeds. Will you try to find it for me? Then I will lend you my shovel. Good luck. You borrowed a shovel. You can dig in many places. You'll never know what you'll find. So, yeah. This gives us the ability to dig wherever. But he told us that he buried it in the light world, so no point in digging here. The hint he gave us was that he buried it with some flower seeds, so by now, wherever he buried it, there should be flowers growing. And actually, I'm fairly certain the spot was around here somewhere. Yeah. Oh! Here is the flute! Its music surely has some mysterious power. Ah, and I forgot to show you something, but we've now equipped the flute. And if we look into our inventory, we can't find the shovel anymore. As I've told you already, the shovel doesn't really have any purpose other than finding the flute. So the game saves space by putting the shovel into the space where the flute will be once you find it, and by now we don't have access to the shovel anymore. But we found it. So now we can play his tune whenever we want. Seems fairly useless, right? I don't know. Let's talk to, I think it was his father in Kakariko, and see if he has anything to say about it. Why is he so fast? Oh, that's actually dangerous. Oh, we don't have any fairies. Yeah, let's call this a shortcut. I think I've already said this before when I died in the very first part of this series, but game over just means your position gets reset. You don't lose any rupees, you don't lose any items, you don't lose any progress, you just get reset to a different spawn point. So let's head to the bar. It looks like he's just sleeping. Oh, this is my son's flute. Did you meet my son? Where is he? Is he alright? Oh, I see. Well, I can tell what you want to say by the look in your eyes. Would you keep the flute? And will you play its sweet melody for the bird in the village square? I beg of you, please. My son would probably want it this way. But still, I wish I could see him once more. This interaction is actually a little bit strange. Because, well, you'll see in a second. Thank you, Link, but it looks like I can't play my flute anymore. Please, take it. If by chance you go to the village I lived in, please give it to a tired old man you will find there. Well, my mind is getting hazy. Please, let me hear the sound of the flute one last time. Yeah, so the poor guy turned into a tree. A real that's rough buddy moment. And that's what the man was referencing. That's... He only had the one text and he would have said it. The game expected us... What? Wait. the game expected us to only visit the old man with a flute after we found, after we talked to him, after finding the flute. So it didn't have any dialogue if we talked to the father before we saw that scene of him passing away. I just noticed that this guy is purple, and the other one I just disposed of as well. While this is still the old blue one, the purple one is more aggressive, I believe. He doesn't seem stronger, but he's just quicker to react. And I didn't know that that kind of enemy exists. I don't think I've paid enough attention in the past. But yeah, like the father wished, let's play the flute for the bird statue in the town center. And apparently, the statue wasn't a statue at all, but a cursed bird that looks kind of like a duck, but is able to fly perfectly well. And now, if we play the melody, it actually comes and picks us up. And we've unlocked a real way of fast travel. Think about this for a second. This is very similar to what modern games do for fast travel. And this is in a game from 1991. Like, not being carried away by a bird or anything, but I mean, being able to select a location and port yourself there from the map view. So, now that we are able to move way more freely, where is the closest to ferries? I think 5. 5 looks like it's explicitly a teleport to stock up on ferries. Not teleport, but the bird express to the ferries, I guess. We can also dodge the bird, by the way. He tries to pick us up, but it's not guaranteed. We have to actually stand still. Or, I guess, stay in his line of flight. So, let's use the teleporter to the dark world down there again. And I have to reiterate, it's crazy how many core items are hidden in the overworld in this game. If you compare it to modern Zelda games where all of the key items, all of the active items you get, like maybe not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom modern, but like Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, that era of Zelda, you didn't really get many, if at all. Just in the overworld, they were always tied to dungeons. Speaking of Skyward Sword, I really, really like the idea they had with being able to upgrade the items you got in the dungeons with materials if you cared about them enough. So this is what our house used to be. And it's apparently a little shop of some sort. There's the bookshelf, there are some barrels, a shelf for some pots, I think a water truck, like some sort of counter, and there's some guy who looks like he would be very good at spitting projectiles. 100 rupees for 30 bombs. 30 bombs for just 100 rupees. Please buy a mister. We're full right now. Also, I don't know what the implication is that our house is a bomb shop in the Dark World, or if there is any implication there at all. But yeah, let's look at the area we wouldn't have been able to cross that I didn't show you before. Well, actually, did you notice something? There was supposed to be a bridge here. There is no bridge. We aren't even able to get to the castle. So maybe we'll have a look around here to see if there's anything of note. Like this. Okay, that's good to know. So yeah, I actually forgot that there's no bridge there, so we have to go all the way around. And this is what I thought would be the bridge. And this is the thing that prevents you from heading to this area and getting the flute and everything, just from the area that the castle opened up for you. This is the area we've already seen before, where if we head up here and go to the left there, we're back at the pyramid. Let's head up and see what's going on here. A broken bridge. Let's see what's going on with the Dark World equivalent of the Witch's Hut. It's another shop. In such a dangerous world, you may need many things. Select something that you like. And yeah, some players might have been confused at this point why they would be able to purchase another shield. Oh, you can actually collide with it. That's interesting. But as I've told you before, there are enemies. The one with a long, grabby tongue thing that steal your shield. But all in all of this is useless to us. Can we talk to them? Okay, he just repeats himself. What about this area? This guy looks interesting. The Lake of Ill Omen. To the right and then up. Okay, this is just a fight pit. That guy just jumped above the sword and attacked me. That's a bit impressive. Curses to anyone who throws something into my circle of stones. That's oddly specific. But hey, the last curse we've received was actually pretty helpful, so... Was it you who disturbed my peaceful nap? I will give this to you if you go away. A third medallion, it looks like. No ancient stone tablet this time, no showing off of the Master Sword or anything. This one just belonged to some fish in a lake. This is the Quake medallion. Its magic causes the ground to shake and defeats nearby enemies. So, we've got 3 of them now. And I don't think there's anything here. The Zora of this world look very strange. I'm very sorry that they lost their ability to see in 3D. Well, looks like that's it. So, anything else? We've explored this area. This is the Palace of Darkness, as we know. There's some interesting thing here. It doesn't seem like we have a good way of going to the right here, because this area was filled with enemies. We haven't looked at this house here. And this is the second dungeon. This here is the Swamp of Evil, if I recall correctly, and as you can see, it's completely contained here. There is no way to get to it. We've been to this little grove here. This looks like the Kakariko village in the Dark World has been mostly destroyed. We still need to look at what the forest looks like here. The base of Death Mountain. Yeah, let's head down there and check out that house at the lake. And we'll do that by using the mirror. And then calling our bird friend. I was about to head to the castle, but then I remembered that from the castle we have no direct way down, and I think that makes this way quicker. So, what's up with that house here? There used to be a cave here in the real world, in the light world. So let's see if maybe we can blow this up, but we can't. Another shop that's an exact copy of the one in the witch's hut. Okay, so looks like this is a bit of a letdown. Perhaps we should try to make our way to the Dark World village then, and have a bit of a look around there. Once again, I'm using this portal here because I think it might save a bit of time compared to running all the way in the Dark World. So from the Dark World Grove, where the flute boy turned into a tree, let's keep going to the left and see if we can't find a way into the dark version of the village. There's a big rock here, but it's actually too heavy for us. And a house with an arrow mark. Well, howdy, Lightworlder. You look like a straight shooter. Want to try your skill in my shooting gallery? I'll give you 5 shots for 20 rupees. If you're as sharp as I think you are, you stand to rake in the rupees. How about it, stranger? Maybe once. Maybe like this? And like this? No. Oh! Actually worked. This one's difficult. We can't make it. This one. Ah, okay, blocked. This one? Ah, too early. We had a good run, but that was it. Well, at least this one again. So, what does it mean? Well, little partner, you can turn yourself right around and leave the same way you came in. See you later, have a nice day. Okay, he doesn't like that we don't want to continue playing. Yeah, so the point of this game seems to be that barely hitting the thing gives you 4 rupees, and hitting the middle gives you 8, and you get 5 arrows, so... And the entry cost is 20 rupees, so just by hitting it barely each time, you make your money back, and by hitting the middle each time, you could double your entry money. Also another very ominous lady. Welcome to the treasure field. The object is to dig as many holes as you can in 30 seconds. Any treasures you dig up will be yours to keep. It's only 80 rupees to play. What do you say? Let's go. We get the shovel back. Wait, what? I should have actually read that instead of just, Ah, okay, it overrides what we actually have. So yeah, dig as many holes as you can, and hope don't do that. Hope for the heart piece. That is hidden as well. I think this will be the last thing we do today. Continuing this game until either we get the heart piece or we run out of money. But to do this, we have to leave the screen and come back so the floor resets. Yeah, that's bad. But we've recovered. No luck this time either. And it's annoying that the first few seconds are wasted because she's so slow to get out of the way. And this run also doesn't start great. We don't really care about the rupees, we just want the heart piece. Come on. It would be nice if the game gave us any sort of indication for where we're aiming with our shovel right now. But I guess in this iteration it's still very, very intuition based. That's the UI element they didn't have the space for at the time. Actually, I think we've been getting as many rupees back as we've been paying. So to keep going until we run out of rupees might be harder than I thought. So I'm gonna try 3 times maximum, starting from the next one, and if we don't have any luck, we can start the next stream by continuing this. Out of the way. And I don't think it's really smart to start down there, because you immediately run into the corner. You want to waste as little time as possible between digs. And you, most of all, don't want to start the dig animation and not dig up anything. So, 1 out of 3. This will be the penultimate attempt. I'm starting to doubt that there's actually a heart piece here, but I'm fairly certain there is. Oh well. Last attempt. I think we've just about made our entrance fee back. But we don't care about that. We want a heart piece. Give me the heart piece. Now. Game says no. So, I guess we'll have to end without getting the heart piece. I will need to research if there's actually a heart piece to be found there, but I think I remember there is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and